with some of the birds that she uses, if we can get real close. And now we've had the doves on my show here before. And what they would do is while you were reading someone, they would squeeze your finger or something with their...
No, what I would do is I would check, like I'll have a person go through certain items like rocks and stuff, and then I will have them on my hand, and one finger would be at their heart. So what I would feel is changes in heart rhythm, pupil dilation, and temperature, respiratory changes, and all that tells me that something affected the person's magnetic field.
Oh, so you can tell all that just from your dove.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. How did you? I mean, you just developed this talent.
Well, I am Seneca Indian. I grew up in with a very traditional Native American father who believed very much in the voice of the earth and the voice of animals. And,
well, the Indians did.
Right, and I spent a lot of time growing up in the forest. You know, I really didn't have any human teachers, so to speak. It was all of the earth. I was a very simple person. A lot of times people come up and they go, you know, Willow, what do you do for spirituality? And I'm like, what do you mean? They go, well, do you meditate? I'm like, no. I said, if you really want to know, I said, I grab a pitchfork and I go out to the horse stalls and I clean out the stalls. I said, that's about really
well, yeah, that's kind of a meditation in a way. Because,
for me it is,
because whatever there's something that's repetitive and kind of mundane in a way is I mean, you know, like sometimes I'll sit there with my little sidekick playing my solitaire game, you know, and the time like kind of passes. Well, if I'm waiting for something or something, whether I'll take that out and do that, and I feel like it's almost a meditation because it's very relaxing and calming, and that's what meditation does.
My horses put me in a state where, with my work and stuff, it's very hectic because I'm always gone, you know, all the time. I travel a great deal, so when I'm home with them, it's my time, and they make sure that I relax, you know. I mean, they just kind of baby me, is what I want to say. And, you know, I love it. I just love being with them, you know, like, I'll go out at night when the stars are out and just, like, sit under the sky with my horses, and just the feeling of that is just, it's neat.
I have to remember something very funny one day when I called your house, and your husband Jim answered the telephone, and I said, "Hi Jim, can I talk to Willow?" And he said, "Well, I'm looking out the window right now, and I see her chasing after one of the horses. You'll have to call back later."
That's me. Either that or pick it up hay bales and throw them over, you know, whatever. But
it's a good. Well, what made you come up with? How did you come up with the idea of using the horses to help people?
Oh, geez. You know, my dad always said that an action of a horse will always reflect the inside of a man. So I think in some ways my dad always had those theories. He did that himself, but I didn't really incorporate it until I got older.
So in other words, you can judge a man by how a horse is acting toward the man.
Yeah.
Well, it almost goes for dogs too, because they kind of know who's good and who's not.
Absolutely. I mean, like I know that there was this one incident of this guy that came up to the ranch, and he's in jail now. He was a child molester. And the horses, every time he would come up to the farm, they run. They didn't want nothing to do with him. They hated him. They tried to bite him. They tried to kick him. Here, he actually tried later on to murder a little girl, rape her, and that's when the girl went to the police and finally verified what he did. Horses picked it up.
Wow.
And they tried to kill him. I seen it.
Wow.
It's really weird how they will detect things like that.
I'll bet. I'll bet. So now I'm interested to know what the horses do for autistic children.
Okay.
Because an autistic child doesn't really communicate that well.
Right.
And do they help them to come out of their state?
Yeah, I think it's the connection of them being on the horse, connecting to the earth, and it's just the feeling of being one with something. Like the horse becomes their movement. The horses become their eyes. they start to see through the animal, and through that, the horse starts to mirror it, and then I can tell what's going on with that child just by what the horse might do. If the horse stops all of a sudden, gets scared, there could be something that the child is afraid of. Different directions the horse will walk in will also tell me certain things.
So in other words, the horse kind of communicates to the humans what is going on inside this child.
Right, right, and they mirror it because that's what they do with their herd. Horses are really complex. They have an almost inner ability to mirror emotions of a person. And they're right on. I mean, it's amazing.
I'll bet.
Yeah, it's just incredible to see these horses work and, you know, how they work with these children and stuff like that. And I think Native American people, we always had a very strong bond with our animals and especially our horses. A lot of times the man, he'd bring the horse in the teepee and keep his wife outside.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Well, the next thing you know, the wife is putting his moccasins
Oh,
outside the
yeah,
teepee.
yeah. Absolutely.
Because they say, I heard somewhere that if a Native American wife wanted to tell her husband
She would
to
take
get
all
lost,
his stuff and she'd throw it out.
just put it
yeah.
outside. That's his signal. You're out of here.
Yeah, you're out. Because, you know, the dwelling of the native house was ruled by the women.
That's right. So how could a horse bring the
Well, we had a couple women, Native American women, I guess, that didn't stand up for themselves or something. I would have never allowed that. But
No, of course not.
I would have kicked my husband out and brought the horse
Brought the horse in yourself.
Sleep out in the field somewhere.
That's funny. Getting back to Cassidy's rescue, we do want to tell you that at the end of the show, watch for the credits because there will be information on how to contact Willow, and if you want to try to get one of these really, I mean, I haven't read it yet, but it looks like it's a very nice book for children to learn about.
It's really going to open up new ideas for people, I think, and it's beautifully illustrated too.
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of very nice pictures in it. There is. Look at with the girl and the horses. It's beautiful. It really is. And so I guess you would recommend this then for children to read.
Yeah.
You know, so if you want to
Absolutely.
get a copy, you can call you can call Willow or go to her website, and the information is at the end of the show, on the pages at the end of the show, so you can see them. You get a pen and paper, and this way you can write down the information if you want to see about getting one of these books for your child or children to read, and maybe it'll help make them more sensitive to animals and the way animals are with us and what they were put here to do for us as far as helping us and helping people, because animals do, and they do have an affinity for people.
I feel that they were put on this earth just to love us.
They were.
I really do. I mean, they don't ask anything from us.
No.
They give and give and give. They never expect results from that. I mean, all the horses that I rescued, I mean, I had horses that when I got them, they would rear up in their back legs and try to kick me right in the chest. Okay? I mean, I literally had to learn to roll real quick. Thank God my dad was a rodeo performer, so I learned a little bit about cowgirling and stuff, but I mean, there were certain horses that would come out with me with their teeth bared, trying to grab me, and, you know, so I had to learn to react. And then I realized, wait a minute, it's because I'm angry. And when I let go of that anger, is when the horse finally looked at me like, okay, I think you're getting it. So again, that, you know, just being around many horses in my life, you know, there was one horse that he was so fearful of people that he would tremble and actually almost fall to the ground. And it took me almost a good year just to be able to touch that horse.
Wow.
Now he's my best friend.
Well, God bless you for what you're doing, let me tell you.
Thank you. And my one horse, my one Pasifina, which is really funny, his grandfather's name is Profeta,
Wow.
which means prophet.
Wow. And you're a kind of a prophet, you might say. Yeah, you are. I mean, you're able to receive information,
Yeah.
and we'll be doing, I'm sure, at least a few more shows in the future about different things. You know, but all right. So you started this, and you feel that has anybody told you, yes, this has helped me? What kind of situations?
I get so much feedback from it. I get so many people that call me and tell me how they opened up or how certain things have changed in their life. A lot of people seem to have dreams about these horses coming to them and almost whispering to their spirit. It's so many stories, you know, how they helped.
Every living thing has a spirit, and we don't realize it, but our spirits do communicate even if we're not conscious of that communication. And that's how, in a way, I think that we are mentally aware of the fact that you have a good rapport with somebody, because your souls are having a good rapport.
Right.
You know? So now the horses, I guess the horses must look forward to the children and the people that come, huh?
Yeah. I mean, you could tell that they do really look forward to it. They love doing their work.
Really?
There's some times where I'll be getting up and I'm like, oh, I know I got to work today. And the horses are just so motivated that they get me motivated. They love, I never seen them love a job so much.
Yeah,
they really like that.
Oh, they probably have some kind of understanding.
Well, a lot of autistic children horses and autistic children are very much alike.
Really?
Yeah.
In what way?
The way they communicate. Horses don't communicate really with words, but there's certain things that are very alike within a horse and autistic child. The way they reason, the way they will run at certain things, fears. Same with a veteran. Horses are very much like a veteran too, who has like shell shock, because they will run from danger in a split second. And so they their minds seem to integrate, with horses. It's can't really explain it, but.
So maybe when a horse and an autistic child come together, there's a sort of understanding then.
Yeah, it's almost like the horse and the child create a voice, and I'm able to read that voice.
Really, that's wonderful. So what kind of things come up then when a horse and, let's say, an autistic child come together and you're hearing that voice? What kind of things are coming through that voice?
Well, a lot of autistic children never really said to their parents, or it's hard for them to say to their parents, I love you. Horses will have a way of expressing that to the child's parents, how much they love them.
Really?
Yeah, like a horse will go up and it will be with the child for a little bit, and then I'll take it over to the parent, and then the horse will like hug the adult and like almost like take his mouth and just, my horses don't bite, they just like put their lips on your cheek or whatever. And it's almost like they are expressing the love the child feels for their parents that they can't express.
Did you ever have a parent get that or understand it and probably break down about it too, huh?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have broke down working with my horses because it's emotional.
Sure.
It's horses are a very powerful force. They get into a person's spirit and they don't let go. I mean, horses are great. That's all they're my world.
Well, all my experiences with horses have been good ones, and I do love the animal very much. I really do. I think they're great. I really do. I'm sure most people do. We used to have horse stables here on Staten Island, but we don't anymore.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I got to bring my horses up here. I'll start a riding stable.
Who knows, right? You could possibly do that. There was a Clove Lake stable here on Clove Road. Now that since they sold the property and they built homes there. But they say, I haven't been in there, but they say that you could still smell the horses near the homes, you know what I mean? Because they were there for so long. Then there was the West Shore stable, and that's on South Avenue. As a matter of fact, it's right down the street from the studio here. And now there's the Hilton Hotel in its place.
Oh, okay.
So, but we did have a couple of major stables, but they're gone. As a matter of fact, the city of New York, I think they didn't want horses on Staten Island anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why, but they said that they didn't want them, and the two major stables are gone.
I think I read something about that too. My mom had an article.
It was a
about
long
that.
time ago.
Yeah.
Long
yeah.
ago. Yeah, because the stables are gone for quite a few years
Yeah.
now. Yeah, that's true.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame because, you know.
Because it brings a lot of enjoyment to people.
Oh, sure.
When you could just get on a horse and just go in the woods and be yourself. Because there's nothing you're going to hide from. You're not going to lie to a horse.
Right.
Because they're going to reflect it right back to you.
We had bridle paths in Clove Lakes Park over here, and people used to ride through the park on the bridle paths. Yeah. And I'm sure that, I mean, that's probably one of the most relaxing pastimes that you can do.
Well, for me, it's pretty nerve-wracking. Because I ride some crazy horses that want to flip back over.
Well, you can. Well, naturally, if you're going to have a riding stable, you got to get the calmest horses.
Yeah, no, I got to, handle the crazies. So that's fun.
But that's what you do.
Yeah.
And that's what you're put here for.
It's excitement.
So you help the horses, and then the horses help other people. And that's a
work together.
wonderful cycle. It's a wonderful thing because I imagine that the horses probably even know that you have helped them, and now you've given them a job.
They better know that. After all I have to spend with their hay and their grain, they better know I love them.
That's right. And then they know what their job is, and their job is to help people. And it's a wonderful cycle that goes around
Right.
there.
And like I said, none of the horses have ever been trained to do this, or none of them have ever been forced into doing it. It's they do it because they want to do it because they love the people. It's plain and simple. They do it because of love.
Yeah.
I've seen it time and time again.
Oh, I'm sure that horses do have big hearts.
Huge.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, all the horses that I've come across were nice. And I liked them, and they liked me, and they are a beautiful animal. They are. You were telling me about a white horse with a black mane that you got. You had dreamt about or something?
Yes, his name is Illusiona de Mayo.
Is that Illusion in the book?
Yes.
There? Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's the one we already saw.
What happened with him is really interesting. My mother wanted me to go to New Holland with her in January. And I never go to New Holland, and it was late in the afternoon, and for some reason, something told me I had to go. I don't know what it was, but something told me I had to go. And what happened was the night prior to that, I had a dream that I was in the forest, and there was this corral of these beautiful horses, right? And the one that was at New Holland that I saw later, with the white one with the black mane, was there in this corral with a white veil. And this angel was riding these horses.
In your dream?
Yes.
Okay.
And I said, how much is that horse? And she goes, oh, well, it's always for sale for the right person. And I woke up, went to New Holland. During the afternoon, I go in and the horse was already sold, and I saw the most beautiful horse I ever seen. Pasafinas go between, they could go anywhere from $7,000 to $20,000.
$7,000 to $20,000?
Yes.
Wow.
I got him for practically nothing.
And how'd that happen?
Very interesting.
Obviously meant to be
very
with you.
interesting. Well, like I said, when I went to New Holland, he went through the sale, and they no-sailed him. And then somebody else bought him. And for some reason, I was pulled over this horse. I knew that this horse had to be mine. Without a doubt, I knew. The horse was scared to death, shaken literally, really hyper. It looked very dangerous. And I said to the guy, I said, look, I'll give you more money than that guy offered. And the guy that bought him flipped out and everything. And he said, well, you really can't do that. But it turned out that I got the horse because the guy said I was there first, okay?
That's what he told him.
Yeah.
Ah.
And I got this horse. And this horse is amazing. He lives up to his name of his grandfather, Prophet. He is a prophet.
He's one of the horses that helps you with the
He actually
people.
also helps me work with the Keys of Enoch, the book that I work with.
Right, and that's another show I want to do about the Keys of Enoch. Absolutely. because the keys of Enoch is something that I was familiar with from when I
Yeah.
took my Reiki classes.
Enoch was the grandfather of Moses, and certain keys that he gave Enoch to open up the awareness of man. And my horses will actually choose a key for a person. It's really neat.
Really? How do they choose a key? A key, a key from the keys of Enoch?
Usually I'll have a person sit on my horse,
Uh-huh.
and I'll just have them leaf through the book.
Uh-huh.
And when they get to a key that really seems to do something to the spirit,
But
the
moves
horse
them.
will start to, yeah. And I'll just look at pupil dilation, heart rate, and all that.
On the horse.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in other words, the person sitting on the horse's back with the keys of Enoch,
Right.
flipping through the book, and as soon as they come to something, the horse will react,
Right.
even though the horse is not looking at the book.
Exactly, because they feel the energy connecting with that key with the person.
So maybe the person's soul saw something, and maybe they made a movement on the horse's back that
You
the
got
horse
it.
picked up on.
Right.
Uh-huh. That's
It's,
interesting.
it's very interesting. I also have my horses go around a medicine wheel, you know, like different directions and stuff to let me know what direction a person is in their life, and, you know, all kinds of ways that I use horses. I mean,
And you have found that you were able to tell people or help people take a different direction in their life to improve things.
yeah. Plus that, you know, I'm very psychic as well.
I know that.
So between the horse's psychic abilities and my own, we kind of blend, you know,
Yeah, I can see
and
that.
we become one voice.
Yeah, and the same thing with the doves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. This is all very interesting. You know, I mean, I didn't know about all of this until, well, you know, this is why I do my show, because I'm interested in learning, and I know that my audience is interested in learning. And I have had people come to me and tell me that they learn things from the show, and they like to get the information that I'm putting out, because they wouldn't get it any other place. So that's it. And also, for a few seconds, I did want to mention that we had some great food tonight from Lobster King
It was good.
on Forest Avenue near Pathmark, and they have been supplying food for our crew for the show for a little while now, and it is absolutely out of this world. Everybody is really they love the food. When they see that I'm doing my show and I have the Chinese food from Lobster King, and Don Wong over there at the manager of Lobster King has been very nice to us, and we also have a couple of really nice people that have been helping out with the show. Anthony Gallo and Linda Zohoff from Robert DeFalco Realty over on Highland Boulevard. They are wonderful people too, and they're helping us to make this show happen, and we do appreciate that. And you can contact them if you like to say thank you for me if you want to, but I say thank you to them too. But it's nice to know that our sponsors are appreciated by our audience, and thank you very much to them. In the meantime, we have a few minutes left, and I'd like to just wrap it up with just talking a little bit more about how, I mean, I'm amazed. I mean, animals always amazed me. From the time that I was a little thing. My parents had movie films of me with the first dog our family had. I was a little bit of a thing, a toddler, just about walking, and I was not afraid at all. I was running to the dog. The dog was outside in the yard, and I'm running back and forth with the dog in these films. And I've just been an animal lover ever since. All animals. I just, you know. I mean, we even feed the birds and the squirrels in the backyard, you know, and watch them in the morning out the window, how they're enjoying themselves and having a party. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And you know, when you're working with animals, and when you have animals, and when you look at animals, and you watch birds, and you watch the little wildlife around and everything, I believe that it's good for you, your physical and mental well-being.
Absolutely.
And animals are here on this earth to serve us and to bring us to a better life. And there are people that just don't get it.
I know. I mean, there was many times in my life where I couldn't talk to anybody, and I go out in the field with my horses, and they'd be right there for me. And it, you know, I think in some ways having a Native American father, he didn't talk a lot, but what he said had a lot of impact, but he didn't really talk a lot.
Only when it's something real important, right?
Yeah, and mostly, like, I would ask him something, he would go, well, go to the woods.
Go to the
Go to the woods. Or he'd go, you know.
The answer's in the woods.
Yeah, the answer is like, what, Dad? What do you mean?
It's like saying the answer's blowing in the wind.
I think in some ways I learned to, he didn't mean to be mean by doing that, but he was trying to connect me with the earth and her animals.
Well, yeah, well, he probably knew he wasn't going to be around forever to give you all the answers.
Right.
And, you know, and we love our offspring and anyone that we feel responsible for, and we want to make sure that they're able to take care of themselves.
My father was a good man. His name was Strong Elk, late Bob Strong Elk, and rodeo performer in his life. And he actually rode from Reading to Kentucky, and he took the Kentucky rifle to Kentucky. It was a long time ago, but he rode like for a whole month, right? And it was all in publicity in the paper.
Amazing.
But the thing is, right, he was funny. During the day, he'd ride, but at nighttime, him and his crew would stay at hotels.
That's funny.
But yeah, they went all that way to deliver
great.
Kentucky Rifle.
In the meantime, our time's up.
Okay.
And we have to say goodbye to our audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And take care. And thank you for coming all the way from Pennsylvania. And good night, everybody.
Good night. Thanks.